Okay, I played 2 survival crafting games last month, and rather than try to review each one of them separately, I thought it might be fun to try and combine the two and compare them. Let's see how this goes. Back in their heyday, I played a lot of crafting-based survival games very steadily in a relatively short space of time. I drowned in Minecraft for a couple of gin-soaked weeks. Oh, the roller coasters I built. The Long Dark, Don't Starve, Rust. I gave a ton of these games a try and then pretty quickly moved on with my life. But every now and then, years later, I'll run into a crafting game and find myself a little intrigued, and it makes sense. Those Lost on a Deserted Island games play into something in our brains that are egomaniacal with absolutely nothing to back it up. I mean, come on, I'm not the only person on the planet who watches Alone while eating an oil drum filled with Chinese takeout and mumbling things like, "I could do that." So it was no big surprise when I found myself playing not 1, but 2 survival games last month. The colorful and cute The Survivalists, and the bleak and radioactive Chernobylite. Within an hour, I basically knew what I was getting myself into, and honestly, I quite preferred one over the other by a lot. On one hand, Chernobylite was this big, intimidating world with a seemingly endless amount of recipes to hunt for and craft on the way to a big goal on the horizon. I felt like I was going to be in this world forever. On the other hand, The Survivalists was this big, intimidating world with a seemingly endless amount of recipes to hunt for and craft on the way to a big goal on the horizon. I felt like I was gonna be in this world forever. Yeah, that doesn't exactly clear it up, does it? That's a joke, though. It'd be really tempting to say that these 2 games are incredibly similar when you get past the different tones, but they're not. Both of them do have stylish graphics for what they're accomplishing, both have fun soundtracks and a big world, and sure, both offer that classic hobo with a bag of holding, crafting, and survival tone that we've seen over and over throughout the years. It's the sort of mechanic that any completionist with a lunch break can really appreciate. But where The Survivalists feels a lot more freeform, with the same generic island and some vague gestures towards plot and tasks, Chernobylite has a really fleshed out storyline with well-written characters and really engaging quests. And here's the thing. Just because a game has a good storyline doesn't make it everyone's cup of tea. Sometimes we just want to jump into the video game canon and be fired full force at a city full of monsters to defeat. I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there. But with that extra bit of thought, Chernobylite is able to motivate you in a way that I didn't quite feel in The Survivalists. I just don't have as much time or interest in free-form games anymore. This happened for me in games like Skyrim, too, for the record. At some point as I got older and my dance card got shorter, I started really craving a level of structure in my games, or at least something to keep me on track toward the finish line. Crafting games are glorious time wasters. I knew that going in, and I do like a good crafting mechanic, but that's just it. I like it as an aspect of the game. I'm not exactly keen on it for the whole game itself. The Survivalists exist to serve the game mechanic of crafting and survival. With Chernobylite, those details, while a major part of the game, are just a couple of columns holding everything up. Survivalists is the sort of game where you're led around by its main mechanic. In fact, one of the most unique aspects of the game is your ability to train a monkey to do crafting tasks for you. Yeah, the main highlight in Survivalists is a mechanic that gets you to do less in the game. And I know that we're seeing that more and more frequently in games, and I don't trust it. I find it kind of suspicious. It's the game developers saying, yeah, there are parts of this game that are boring as fuck. Play it often enough that you won't have to do them anymore. So let's say you've got only the time, money, or inclination to get one of these 2 games. In order to determine which game is right for you, you basically have to take a look at the first in-game day. In The Survivalists, from sun up to sundown, you're going to have a lot of freedom to go where you want and craft what you want without a ton of input from the game itself. You'll scour an island full of creatures, vegetation, and the occasional helpful NPC. You might get into a scuffle with a boar or two, and the game will guide you with a fairly unobtrusive reward system, but it'll also expect a lot of your own research and input in order to figure out how to get things done. In Chernobylite, you might start the day with some crafting, but then you'll move on to your mission. Generally, you'll either be doing a side quest to find hidden stores of weapons, food, or supplies, or you'll be moving forward with one of the main storyline missions. You'll train with the people you've added to your party, and hell, you might even catch a jump scare from one of the radioactive ghosts that swarm a post-meltdown Chernobyl. If both of these examples sound like you'll be doing a lot of the same from day to day, congratulations, you've just learned what a survival crafting game is. And if I'm being honest with myself here, neither of these games are bad. I might really be comparing apples and oranges here, but the similarities were too interesting for me to ignore when it came time to review one of these games, so I decided to shakily stitch the two together. So, to review, if you like something cute with more freedom in a crafting game, The Survivalists is probably more for you. If you like something with a little more meat on its bones and also you happen to hate freedom in your survival games, I'd recommend picking up Chernobylite. If you want something that's cute with meat on its bones, might I recommend Stardew Valley, or your local burlesque troupe.
Have you had a tender moment interrupted by a werewolf attack?
I love you. I love you so... Ah, damn it, not again!
Call 1-800-HEALING-CHURCH. We'll dispatch one of our hunters right away, so you can have the peace of mind that your tender moments will not be interrupted by a horrible, horrible werewolf.
Check us out at www.nomorewolfinterruptions.gov.